Hello, welcome to 8THIRSTY. Today we've got part 2 of our up close and personal series talking about breast implant illness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Sam, and we've got some exciting news to share. But first, let's have a little read of Proverbs, Jess.
Okay, what is a proverb?
A proverb, as you know, I love words. Verb means an action word. A verb is an action word.
Great.
Pro means
I'm for it.
yeah.
Maybe? I am.
So proverbs, they're actions that you can be for.
That are for you.
That are for you to do.
That's true. And so this is from the Bible, just in case you're wondering where we're reading from. So Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22 says this: A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones.
Ooh, who wants dry bones? That sounds like osteoporosis.
Yeah. I'm not going to put my hand up for dry bones.
No thanks.
So a merry heart.
A merry heart is good medicine. Let's keep our hearts merry.
Good idea.
And another proverb, if you please. 16:24.
16:24 says this: pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
It just so happens that I have some honey here.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't even plan that.
No, we didn't.
It was just because I've got a little scratchy throat, and you know what's good for that?
Honey.
Honey.
Apparently good for the bones as well.
Say it
Health to
again,
it.
sorry, I got too excited.
Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
How true is that? You know, you can talk yourself into feeling sicker than you are.
That's true.
How many people love to tell you all their symptoms?
Well, I've had to tell you all my symptoms because you're my naturopath.
That doesn't mean you love it.
No, I don't.
But some people do love you. Just say, how are you? And then they launch into a list of their symptoms. Maybe it only happens to me. They launch into a list of their symptoms.
So is that maybe we have a little emergency honey jar, and when someone does that, we're like, here, have some honey.
Oh, yes.
Because it's, I mean, we all say things that we, you know, we dwell on that aren't right anyway. So
Of
it's
course.
a great lesson for all of us. Pleasant words and a merry heart.
And what is the next bit of that again?
Verse 25.
Yeah, 24. No, read all of 24. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb.
Sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
It's great.
It's a really good one.
It's great.
That would look super cute on your wall. You know, with a little honeybee
Oh, cute.
buzzing around.
Cute.
That's a good little art project.
But pleasant words are healthier to your bones than dwelling on your symptoms.
True.
We are going to dwell on symptoms today, though, so stay tuned for
And
that.
why?
But first,
Why would we? Why would we dwell on the symptoms?
because it's super important.
Because we want to be helpful. Like, why would we want to go through a trial and not find a way to make it a useful trial?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
there might be people out there who are watching who are thinking, oh, I wonder if that symptom could be related to breast implant illness.
Either someone
You might have been
or
told.
to yourself.
Yeah, you might have been
Yeah.
told that your symptoms are due to stress or they're due to your hormone changes.
Yeah. Or they're all in your mind.
Oh, and that is actually something that is being found in research. There's not a lot of information about breast implant illness. There is a lot about breast implants, but a lot of people do believe that it's an illness only in the minds of the people who are having these symptoms.
Interesting. So we have some really great news. We talked last video about how it's a very expensive operation and, you know, one that I didn't see coming, so I didn't prepare for that extra amount. So for me, it's going to cost $18,000, which is a lot of money.
Craziness.
But I was very grateful to read from somebody else's helpful information that you can often access your superannuation on compassionate grounds because you're not feeling very well, so it's an early release. And the great news is that it has been approved.
Praise God.
So, you know, you work hard for your super. It's not like it's free money anyway.
No.
It is actually your money.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad into looking to this. This is just another way that you can source it. If you need to have this operation, we would encourage you to look at it. So we'll add more information about that in the
comments.
Yes, great idea. So you can look at that.
So super exciting that that's happened, because that's a
Yes.
load off your mind, right?
It is, because financial strain is not something that anybody likes to go through.
No.
So you're going to go through some symptoms. So you have a list that's been put together.
So we'll share this research paper as well in the comments.
Okay.
So this is one particular paper that was done 4 years ago by some Western Australian authors. When they did this particular investigation about what information was out there about breast implant illness, they found over 10,000 articles
Wow.
on breast implants,
Okay.
how to put them in, what kind of impact they have on the body, etc. But only 2 articles they found on breast implant illness.
Oh, out of all those,
Yeah.
there was only 2 that talked
This
about.
was in 2020, so it was 4 years ago.
Wow.
But it's a good paper. It talks a lot about the comparison of a group of 50 women who were getting their implants taken out, who had a lot of breast implant illness symptoms.
Right.
And they were comparing those women to a group of 50 women who also had breast implants, but who weren't getting them taken out. They didn't have symptoms. They were getting replacement breast implants.
Right, because there's an expiry date on all implants anyway. So they were upgrading their implants.
Upgrading.
Replacing.
Replacing.
Replacing the implants.
Yeah. So
okay.
So I think it's good from a scientific perspective to look at the comparison groups.
True.
That's,
So to indicate some of these symptoms, if I've had those symptoms,
I'm going to read them out.
Okay, and I'm going to have a drink every time there's a symptom. I'm feeling a bit dehydrated. That's a symptom. So I will have a drink every time that applies to me.
So this is a big list.
Okay.
So
I might need to go to the bathroom.
we might need to refill your water, but I'll try to read it quite quickly.
Okay.
Fatigue or chronic fatigue. Slow muscle recovery after activity. Cognitive dysfunction, which includes brain fog, difficulty concentrating or memory loss.
Okay.
Heart palpitations. Muscle pain. Joint pain. Sore and aching joints of shoulders, hips, backbone, hands and feet. Hair loss. Dry skin. Dry hair. Swollen and tender lymph nodes in the breast area, underarm, throat, neck and groin. Premature aging. Bouts of dehydration for no reason. Frequent urination.
No.
Poor sleep and insomnia. Numbness and tingling around the implant or the underarm. Dry eyes. Vision disturbances. Hypo or hyperthyroid symptoms. Like, you might not know what they are, but we have spoken about them, and you have them. Liver and kidney dysfunction. So that's about your detoxification process. So
Yes.
sometimes your skin issues can arise because of problems with your liver and kidney,
Right.
and you have had some skin issues, so I would drink. Cramping. Estrogen, progesterone imbalance or diminishing hormones. That's not actually a symptom, that's a thing, but you have had symptoms of that. Painful periods is a symptom of that. Toxic shock syndrome. Oh, you see those on the tampon packets.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I've got that.
Okay. Anxiety,
No.
depression, panic attacks. Symptoms.
No.
Whoa. Okay. Symptoms of or diagnosis of fibromyalgia. So that just means muscle ache, really. Chronic muscle ache. Slow healing of cuts and scrapes. Easy bruising. Symptoms or diagnosis of Lyme disease.
It's
Some of the symptoms,
possibility.
throat clearing, cough, difficulty swallowing, choking, reflux, vertigo, dizziness.
So dizziness, yes. Vertigo, no. So
What's the difference?
well, that's a really good question.
I think
actually.
vertigo is just dizziness.
Let's just suck it.
Like, you've got a feeling of moving when
This
you're not
really
actually moving.
sucks.
You're going great.
Okay.
Symptoms of or diagnosis of an autoimmune disease such as Raynaud's, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, lupus, Sjogren's syndrome, non-specific connection tissue disease, or multiple sclerosis. So you may have had a diagnosis of one of those illnesses.
Certainly have symptoms of some of them.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't to get these implants removed, I really do feel like at least one of them would actually become a diagnosis,
Well,
which is not nice.
Gastrointestinal and digestive issues.
So is that to do with my sensitivity to foods?
Yes, or even loss of appetite is a digestive issue. Fevers, night sweats, intolerant to heat. I've seen you sweating for no reason.
Oh.
New and persistent bacterial and viral infections. Yes. Symptoms of or diagnosis of breast implant associated anaplastic cell, large cell lymphoma.
Well, we don't know about that
we
until...
spoke about that last time. That is a specific...
you have to get that tested, the tissue tested,
yes,
to know.
type that's associated with breast implants.
Yeah.
Slow clearing of common colds and the flu. Fungal infections, yeast infections, candida, sinus infections, skin rashes, ear ringing.
No.
Tinnitus. Sudden food intolerance and allergies. Headaches.
Yeah.
So these are not even extensive symptoms.
Yeah.
Because you've even got some that aren't on here.
Absolutely.
And we've seen other articles where more symptoms are mentioned.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good set
Did
of
we
symptoms.
even talk about massive fatigue on there?
Yes, that was the first one. You're so
Right.
tired you forgot it. Yeah. So that's a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
a lot of those are those weird kind of non-specific things.
Yes.
So
I still have some water left. It didn't totally suck.
Yay. But an important question to ask is, how do you get diagnosed with breast implant illness? And the answer is you don't.
Right.
People are self-diagnosed.
Can I say one thing,
You
though?
may.
Samantha,
Yes.
do you have breast implants?
Well, that's a personal question.
I'm going to ask it.
I don't.
So you can't have breast implant illness. That is
Yes.
one test. So if you do have them, that is one confirmation that you possibly could have this issue.
Great. Yes, that's good.
Sorry, you were going to say.
No, I've forgotten what I was going to say. One of the... Yeah, so there's no blood test that you can do that says, oh, yes, you have breast implant illness, let's get them out.
Yeah.
There are some bloods that would indicate that there's something going on underlying, and a lot of the time people have autoimmune things showing up on blood tests.
Yeah.
But because people are having such different sets of symptoms and they change over time as well, is what we've found.
For sure.
It's difficult to pin down. So what I would say is, if you're suspecting that you might have breast implant illness, ask yourself firstly, do I have breast implants?
Yes.
Yes. If you're having some weird symptoms, then chances are yes.
Yeah.
And you should do some further investigation.
Definitely.
So we're going to put some links in to show you where you can go to find some more information about early release of superannuation, if that's
Great.
something you might need to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to put the link in for the research paper that we've been discussing. We'll also put those scriptures in.
Absolutely.
We've got another couple to finish with.
Yeah, and I think it's a really important thing to think of. Like, not many people knew that I had breast implants. Who knows why?
It's a personal thing.
I was that way before having babies, and I returned to that afterwards. So there wasn't really anyone that I know of that. Well, no one came up to me and said, "Hey, do you?" Now it is a personal question.
Yeah.
But I want to encourage people, if you suspect that someone has these symptoms that we've talked about, it's not just implants in the breast region that can cause these problems.
Yeah.
Anything that's in the body that's artificial, your body can react and create a defense mechanism, really.
And that is a nice way to put it. And we were talking about this before.
Yeah.
Because, it is a personal thing. And it's... Look, I personally think it would be rude if you said to me, do you have breast implants?
Which I just did.
Which
Sorry.
you just did.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
Yeah. But if I said to you, do you have fillings in your teeth?
Well,
Would you be offended?
I also don't want to answer those personal questions.
But sometimes
that's okay.
it's super obvious.
Because there is a way around
if you
it.
look if someone's got a big, gigantic, amazing smile and you see fillings in there, would it not be something, if they're not well, to consider that perhaps the amalgam that's in their teeth, if that's what it is...
If they're consulting me as a patient, definitely.
Yeah.
But in general life, I don't want to be talking to people about my medical or physical things.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, I would love it if if with the symptoms I had, if someone had known about this, if they had have said, hey, I don't want to upset you at all, but I just want to ask a question, and don't feel like you have to answer or respond, but I just want to put it out there. If you're feeling really unwell, this is a possibility for some people.
It's a nice way to put it. It's a nice way to put it. And before we talked about saying, do you have anything added to your body?
Yeah.
Like it could be, you know, people have a metal plate or a metal screw in their bones for reasons.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I want to be a friend that's okay with the tough conversations. You know, I don't want to pretend that I'm friends with someone and just avoid that. Like,
that isn't a good friend. You're right. And you're much braver than I am.
well, if you had snot coming out of your nose,
I would put your finger in it.
a merry heart.
Honey.
You're doing good medicine to me right now, Sam.
Right.
So yeah, we're putting these together not for any other reason, but that they might be helpful to some people out there. Plus, when you're going through a journey like this, like I have not had surgery yet. We're expecting a lot of these symptoms to go very quickly. What was that figure that you had?
In the paper that we'll share, so of the 50 people who were getting explanted, 100% of them had either a complete or partial resolution of all their symptoms.
Within 93 days.
Average of 93 days. So they did some post-operative follow-up.
93 days is not a long time.
No, mate. No,
That's
it's
pretty
not.
quick.
Yeah.
And with detox on top of that.
Yeah.
You know, So I just want to encourage you guys, like we are only doing this to try and support people out there that might be going through this themselves or know someone that is. So please know our heart behind this, and let's share a couple more scriptures before we finish off.
So Proverbs 14:30 says, "A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy is the rottenness of the bones."
Oh, a sound heart is the life of the flesh. So that brings life to your flesh when you have a sound heart. But envy is not a good thing to have in your heart.
It's not a good thing to have, but, you know, and we talked about which scriptures we were going to share today as well, and thought that this one is a kind of sensitive one because, I mean, the fact is that a lot of people will be getting breast implants because they're envying.
Yes.
Because they're envying what
something
someone
they
else
don't have.
something they don't have.
Yeah.
Which is super sad.
And a flip side to that is that when you're going through symptoms like I have, I actually have had times where I've had to check my heart because I'm envious that people have good health.
Yeah.
And I have had good health all my life.
Yeah.
So you envy the health and the vibrancy and what people can do with their bodies when you're not able to have that. But I don't want to ever stay in that situation. So that's why I'm actually doing something about it.
Yeah. And renewing your mind.
Yes. Yeah. And it says here that envy's rottenness to the bones. That's pretty full-on language.
What goes on in your bones, doesn't it? Because when you think of your bones, that's like something right deep down inside of you that no one else can even see.
Wow.
So
how about the marrow? Like the importance of the health of the marrow in your bones.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible how one verse can actually hit you quite hard. So you don't have to have envy. Have a sound heart because it's life to your bones.
Yeah. And to finish, Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ Jesus.
And that's exactly what we've been doing, presenting our prayers to the Lord about this situation for me and how we're going to use this to try and help others.
So if you have any ideas about that, then share them with us.
Absolutely.
By all means.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Bye.